Off right before the break, we were talking about voting, going to vote, and why it's important that you vote. Not just that. For the first time, or one of the few doco and show 1 year history, we were supporting a particular political party. Here's some information. Wasn't the last article from Rick Manning? No, Richard Anthony. All right. Mr. Manning says the media has woken up and noticed that the Republican Party, which should be on the precipice of enjoying a massive electoral victory based upon the unpopularity of President Obama, the economy, and the number of red state Democrats are being forced to defend in the Senate. We are not realizing that advantage in voter polls. Why is that? And it shows a picture of the Republican establishment waving the white flag and a fellow that looks a whole lot like Senator Ted Cruz holding up a flag that says fight. All right. Democrat candidates remain close or ahead in the key takeover states of Louisiana, Arkansas, Alaska, North Carolina, Iowa, Colorado, and New Hampshire. Beyond the obvious is a natural backlash against the National Republican Party, which has spent the past 3 years bashing conservative voters. The answer may be found in a poll that just released by the D.C. newspaper Politico. I told you I'd give you some percentages. Only 35% of voters in the most competitive House and Senate races approve of Obama's handling of immigration, with a whopping 64% disapproving. So why would Republicans not be blowing Democrats' doors off on this issue alone? The answer is found when the poll asks which political party voters trust on immigration, revealing that only 34% of these voters trust the Republicans, while 31% trust the Democrats. A full 35%, an overwhelming majority of which disapprove of Obama's policies, simply don't trust Republicans to do any better. Are you listening to me? Is this having an impact on you? It's just preposterous why the Republican establishment continues to shoot themselves in the foot. I just don't get it. When Republicans like Scott Brown in New Hampshire, who has not been part of this compromising on Capitol Hill, releases ads attacking their popular opponents' vote on the issue, he is rewarded by the voters with a dramatic jump in the polls. Pay attention, folks. Immigration really may well be the economy, stupid, of the 2014 elections. If folks are smart, there should be very little the opposition and or the mainstream media could do to take immigration and its concerns off of the front page of the newspaper between now and November the 4th. It is our job to keep it there. Do you understand what I'm telling you? It's huge. I'll prove it. Just a minute. On the issue of illegal immigration, it appears that voters are not willing to settle for the lesser of two evils in a political party. Now, that goes against what I told you before I read you this article. Unlike 1994 or 2010, a Republican win in 2014 will be in spite of themselves. Okay, positive note. A nationwide Tea Party of the 21st century. There are 862 Tea Party teams, a total of over 300,000 active members that are putting a nationwide challenge out there, and I think it is great. Here's the challenge. All members are to enlist 2, 3, or 4 new members. They must be American citizens of voting age. They must be unregistered to vote. They must attend at least 4 meetings. You must get them registered. You must organize a carpool for the morning of the election. You must organize a time and place to meet on election day. You will be responsible for their safe return to the meeting area. This sole action right there could generate over 1 million new votes. That may not sound like much in a nation of 300 million, but think about some of the elections in the very close states, in the states that have close elections. 1 million votes spread across the United States could make a huge difference in the outcome. I would submit that the San Antonio Tea Party needs to take on the same challenge and see how strongly, quickly, and effectively you can grow the membership of like-minded folks. Now, let me give you another reason. I know I'm going back and forth. I'm telling you one thing. I'm telling you we got to really vote Republican in order to stop the freight train. And at the other time, I'm telling you why establishment Republicans are not necessarily in favor. Okay, and there's a reason for that. Believe me, there's a reason that I'm going down that direction. I'm thinking you're smart enough to figure it out. If not, we will draw it to a conclusion somewhere during the podcasts of the Double Down Squared series. I promise you. Obama's #1 Muslim Brotherhood advisor resigns to set up a state operation. Okay. So here's a guy that was a large part of installing the government of Egypt, Mohammed Morsi, all right, if you'll recall, was installed in large part through the efforts of the Obama regime and the operations it was strongly supported by them right up until the Egyptian people, through their military, were able to regain control of their country. You will remember the Arab Spring. The people took over. The people revolted. The funny part about, not so funny, but the fun part about that to me was the entire revolt was driven by social media. That's when they started clamoring to shut down the internet. Key among those orchestrating things from the United States was Mohammed Bieri, a known Muslim Brotherhood member and supporter. Bieri is no longer working for the Department of Homeland Security. Can't believe he got in there in the first place. Resigning his position in pursuit of reforming, wait for it, the Republican Party in advance of the 2016 election. In the truest Trojan horse tradition, Bieri is a Republican and a longtime Texas Republican Party official. Him are coming back to Dallas, Texas, and his job is, he considers himself to be a conservative, and that it is his intention to, quote, help the party's electoral prospects by moving its foreign policy in a pro-Islamist direction. And he's going to do this from Texas. One of us is way off base on what Texas is all about. Now let me give you some numbers on what I think Texas is all about. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is about American hunters. All right? A blogger added up the deer license sales in just a handful of states and arrived at a striking conclusion. There were over 600,000 hunters this season in the state of Wisconsin. All right? Did you get that? That's our base number, 600,000. Over the last several months, Wisconsin's hunters became the 8th largest army in the world, just in Wisconsin. That's more men under arms than in Iran, more than France and Germany combined. All right? These men deployed to the woods of a single American state, Wisconsin, to hunt with firearms, and no one was killed. That number pales in comparison to the 750,000 who hunted the woods of Pennsylvania and Michigan's 700,000 hunters, all of whom have returned home safely. So toss in 250,000 hunters in West Virginia, and it literally establishes the fact that the hunters of these 4 states alone would comprise the largest army in the world. And then add in the total number of hunters in the other 46 states, and it is millions more. The point is, America will forever be safe from foreign invasion with that kind of homegrown firepower. It's a matter of national security. All enemies, foreign and domestic, want to see us disarmed. Food for thought. When next we consider gun control, overall it's true. So if we disregard some assumptions that hunters still remain, what army of 2 million would want to face 30 million, 40 million, even 50 million armed, pissed off citizens? For the sake of our freedom, don't ever allow gun control or confiscation of arms. That is our strength. We know it, and they know it, which is why they want to take them away. Tyranny cannot be successful over an armed populace. Where it has been successful anywhere in the world, the first thing that came down were the population's guns. Think about it. On a micro scale, we've been through this before. You've seen it time and again. Where do these ghastly killings of multiple citizens by crazed idiots happen? Where do they happen? Gun-free zones. Same thing would be true of a tyrannical government trying to impose its will on a free people if they can make it a gun-free zone. I get to take a sip of water, and we will be right back.
What this world needs is a few more rednecks, people with the nerve to take a stand. What this world needs is a little more respect for the Lord and the law.